even up for consideration for the chopping block. Absolutely not. We'd be far worse. Far worse.
No, we'd have to make some cuts, and when people came to the town hall to see somebody and they weren't there, or, on and on, then, maybe they didn't get the message. But I agree, most people are totally uninterested.
Right.
Until their ox gets gored.
Or you're attacked by a bear on Larder Field and you need services.
That's right.
But I mean, there's a world where we go to we don't go too far in this rabbit hole, but we go to that super town meeting and it's a 7 or 8% budget increase. And we're just left toasted. Mm-hmm. And we got to come up with a plan again. Well, I know we don't agree with the one-time revenue shots, but we got to come up with something. And it's not, we can't put a Walmart right off Route 3 and generate tax revenue. It would take so many businesses in town to actually build a tax base off it.
Which is why that is really not the reasonable approach, is to open up the Route 113 corridor to commercial space, because we've done the study. And then we'd have to split the tax rate. And I am not in support of splitting a tax rate for businesses right now, because it would kill the businesses that we are trying to promote.
Yeah.
So that's not the solution. Just because you zone it doesn't mean people are going to want to do it either.
Yeah.
And it's not in line with our master plan or our open space plan to do that. You want to, you refer to the master plan all the time.
The master plan,
plan.
If you look at the economic development section, it certainly doesn't call for a Walmart. I mean, who the heck would? But it does call for looking at 113 as a commercial corridor with small scale retail.
Sort of the Mirabelles.
Consistent with the character of the town. That's what the master plan says, and it calls to create an economic development committee to look and implement that. That's what the master plan says.
And we've done that with the town center overlay district.
Okay.
Right?
113 is beyond that, though.
It is.
It's a long.
I understand it, but if you read in other sections of the master plan, there is the gateway through Dunstable, and that is the 113 corridor that people want to. They want to see the bucolic McGovern's farm. They want to see the open fields. They want to see the little cemeteries from the 1600s. That is, you go through the list, that is valued higher on the lists of what people want instead of business along that corridor.
And there's already, you can already do, like if somebody wanted to do home business or something like that.
You can.
That's allowed.
Yeah.
That's allowed anyway.
It is allowed anyway.
Anybody along 113 that wanted to establish a home occupation, I believe it's called in the zoning bylaws.
It's there to be done. And again, you're not going to up their tax rate to be a business tax rate. You're not going to do that. So I don't have all the answers, but I obviously feel more strongly about the things I don't want to see, but I can't say I have any. If I had solutions, I'd offer them, but I don't. I don't know.
I'm going to be the first one that's going to agree with you. I don't have the answers, but what's concerning is the fact that we don't have the answers.
And nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing.
And I don't want to, I'm not just to jump in quick. I'm not necessarily trying to just slop off every piece of land, but where do you come up with $400K next year?
Free cash.
It's not going to be enough.
I know.
I mean, what's
it becomes overriding.
We already baked in that 400,000. We've already baked in 524,000 of free cash. Hopefully, we have that.
Right.
So
you're looking at override territory again.
But we just
came from one.
Bailed on.
I understand, but
so then we still have to build the budget without one.
You do have to build a budget without one.
And that really looks.
Yeah.
It's not a good. It's not. I mean, and the one thing about where we're at right now is, in my own opinion, right, we've cut police, right, but it was a vacant position anyway, so it hasn't had a significant impact in view. we've cut fire, and in the next round of cuts, fire is not going to be responding to medical calls. You just have to wait for the ambulance to come in.
Yeah.
Because there won't be anybody going out on those calls. I mean, they had a call 2:00 this morning, and fortunately, it had a positive outcome, but I don't know if that's going to happen in the future. I don't know that, because there won't be, the firefighters are going to scatter. And the same thing with the police officers. There's a story this morning in the newspaper. Boston Police is 900 officers short. They're offering $10,000 signing bonuses. Some of these guys are going to go, hey, yeah, go in there. And so because we're so unstable with the financial well-being of how we're operating, it's a municipal corporation and we're not financially stable right now. We're not. And I'm like her. There's definitely not, I can't sit here and say, oh, I have the magic answer, follow me. There's no such thing. But to his point, right, and this is going to be an ongoing discussion here, and I'm just venting a little bit. This is going to be an ongoing discussion here over the next couple of meetings as to how we're going to get in front of this so that we're not we're going to just be sitting here in oh shit mode come budget time when we're going to be faced with a $700,000 problem that we can't solve. I don't have those answers, but there's got to be an answer, and I don't want to be a minesweeper, just trying to find out where the mine is. I want to fix the problem. I don't know what the answer to it is, but it's not going to get resolved at this meeting. But we're going to have to make some tough decisions here about what's going on. We're going to have to make some tough decisions, and the residents of town are not feeling the impact of that, of not passing that override. They're not feeling it. Everyone's kind of going along like, well, they made it work this time, and they'll do it again. But the next time around, it's more significant. And maybe we won't have a plow truck out in the wintertime when we should have. Those things are on our doorstep right now. That's going to affect people. While the road's not plowed, we'll get to it during the daytime when we get a chance.
The sun will take care of it.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have our hand pushed into some of those decisions that, and this time around, it's like I said, and I repeat myself, no one sees this, but we do, and we understand it. There's only one firefighter in that station, right? And that's a safety hazard for that individual.
And for the people who may need their assistance.
And then the notion that the fire department's going to continue to respond to medical calls, I think that's at risk. It's at risk. You have to wait for the ambulance to come into town, and that's unfortunate. But that's what we're faced with, and that's grim reality. It's not a threat. It's not. It's what it is. You can't have all this stuff without putting some more money into it. And it's the same with the schools. They from time to time they're going to need some new money. I don't doubt that. In this particular case, and what we're faced with here, it's just.
They get new money. They get new money every year. You get all our money. Groton is lucky. They got more going on over there. It's easier for them, but they got millions in the bank.
They have
Money
much
didn't come from us. That they begrudgingly give us a few bucks when push comes to shove. But what they had $2 million in E&D. They had almost another $1 million in their other account, which I can't think of the name of. But anyway, they just and we're laying off police and fire so that we can pay for directories. I said that before. I'm saying it again for the camera.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we sit down at some point and have a working meeting and go through the master plan, and you guys can point out to me the properties that you think would benefit as being commercial. Not you. I'm not saying you.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No.
And I'll go over it with you and, sort something out. I don't know, but.
I mean, it's either more revenue or reduced spending. I mean, that's real. That's
about it.
It's not like it's not. it's not it's not a difficult, it is a difficult thing, but those are the only two solutions to it.
So how
And
are
it's-
these creating more of these businesses in town that we don't need, according to the market study we've done, going to create more revenue?
We're not, those
Right.
businesses,
The business, we would need so many businesses
Right.
to even remotely balance our budget.
It-
Right.
but it never-
Exactly.
It's
That's
not-
my
it's
point.
not
So why
one
even go
thing,
down
though.
that path?
Just we can't look at it as, okay, this is gonna be the solution.
Yeah.
There's not one solution.
Right.
It's not one thing. It's, hey, we gotta look, we've talked about this, I'm pointing to the town clerk, like, we gotta look at fees. Are our fees in line with market? Is that gonna solve a $400,000 problem?
Of course not. It's
Not even close.
it's chipping away. Yeah.
But you gotta chip, you gotta chip away at it.
Yeah.
And is that one component? It probably is, but it's not gonna, it's like it's a spec,
Right.
but it's still a one solution.
Yeah.
But it's never gonna be one thing. It's gonna be a combination of things that fix it.
Yeah.
You have the potential of selling water to Pepperell, right? And that's,
But that's, again, that's the water enterprise. So
Right.
It will.
unless we sell the water system. Unless we sell the water system.
The world's most valuable resource.
yeah.
I mean,
We've not looked at it.
Yeah.
What's it worth to get rid of it? Sell the wells, the infrastructure. It's a 30-year payment that someone will make to us. I don't know. We've
That's
not-
the only way to go. I mean, so the water goes into the enterprise, that can't get transferred out of the enterprise into.
No, it's gonna get sold. The water system will get sold. There wouldn't be an enterprise fund. Town's gonna get rid of it.
Who buys
That's
the
that's-
water system?
the option.
No, I think you're asking if we just create a collaborative with Pepperell.
Right.
I believe because the town has an enterprise fund set up for water, it would be required to support the enterprise.
Support the
I
what?
believe, the enterprise fund. It would-
And those funds can't get transferred out of the enterprise
If-
into general fund.
Would have to look into that. I've never seen that happen.
I've never seen that
That
happen
does not mean it can't happen, though. I'm not sure. I know, I've seen it happen vice versa. I've
Yeah.
seen money from the
Oh.
general fund supplement
Mhm.
Yeah,
water.
you've seen that a lot,
enterprise.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen the reverse. I'll look at that.
well, anyways, I guess we just gotta come up with some ideas.
Yeah, we do.
And if it's, we tell the school it's 2.5%,
Figure it out.
deal with it at town meeting or
Yeah.
whatever town meeting, hey, okay, but then I suspect we fail
Well, I mean,
miserably.
I feel like I've heard before that there's resistance on the Groton side to support overrides that they've put forward to support the schools. So who knows? I mean, maybe
That's why they never.
You
that's
don't
why
know.
They don't go for overrides over there anymore.
they don't support them.
Right, because the town hasn't, Dunstable has supported more overrides for the schools than.
Then Groton has.
Groton has never, I think the last 15 years, however many overrides they had, every one of them was for the school and every one of them got voted down.
So it may not be a slam dunk
So they.
to go to a super town
They
meeting.
vote, but that's the thing, they bend over backwards over there. And the superintendent, models her budget or whatever, she and the town manager over there get together and they decide what they need, what they have to do in order to not go for an override. And then they just turn to us and then go, this is what you owe, and shut up about it.
Well, to that point, as Joan eloquently said, we we should, because I think that is a fair point. We've talked about doing some outreach to the school district sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And Karen just mentioned, when should we be communicating with the schools now,
Yeah.
based on this information?
Yeah,
And it probably made sense to do that soon. So if you want, I can draft something for you to consider, and
I think
Well,
we,
just the communication to the schools. And
Let's put that up for our next meetings, and then let's kind of formalize that process. Let's get Raphael and Lacey in, right? Because they haven't been in for a meeting for a while. And they need to be in the know. There are reps, right? And a lot of times, for whatever reason, they seem to be outside of the communication channel here. But you and I have talked about this, making sure that the district knows right after the 4th of July what Dunstable's willing to participate in terms of dollars for the upcoming year, so they can plan for that. Put it, and that's it. This is it. Is how this is going to work.
Right. Not
And-
can we just give this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
are
don't
going
want,
to.
and now is July, so they've got plenty of time to figure it out.
I mean, the negotiation needs to simply be based in reality. It can't be based on, all right, yeah, we can do 5%. Well, how?
We
How
can't.
can we do 5% when we only have 3% revenue growth?
Right.
In what world can we do 5%? And I know that's very likely less than what they're going to need. And I'm not saying they don't need it, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we can only afford the growth we're seeing in revenue as
Right.
growth in spending. It's just as simple as that. And I am not making any judgment on their request for increases. There's no judgment there. But there's only so much the town can afford to fund the budget. And it's not 5%.
Well, right. I mean, I think they need to evaluate what can they live with, just like we have had to do that. What can we live with? And it's, that margin is getting smaller and smaller and smaller here on our municipal
Right.
side.
And I'll tell you, if it's 3% revenue growth, the town side can live with 3% revenue growth. We can make that work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guess what? We'll probably be jumping for joy.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see anywhere near 3% this year.
Yeah.
Anywhere near. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a sustainable solution, I think.
And then, Mr. Karen, in terms of what, I'm going to kind of counter what you said about the schools, right? If in fact the large amount of people are here in the town for the school district, and that's a fair statement, when we look at this override that just failed, the school override, and then we re-voted it and put it back out when we won by 6 votes or something, right?
Yeah.
But to me, that's a measurement that we want good schools, but we don't want to pay for them. I mean, we were asking for $180,000 for capital money, and the thing failed by 6 votes, and then it won by 7 votes, whatever those numbers were. It's not an overwhelming or resounding affirmation of all these people that are here because they want a school district.
Half as many are voting for other reasons.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. But it's,
But historically, to Joan's point, other than this past override, they've all passed. We've always supported the schools. It's been the quotation. So like, I mean, counterpoint, right?
don't misunderstand me. There have been school overrides, and there was one maybe 10, 12 years ago that, they were looking for some money, and it was operating income that didn't pass. It didn't pass here. And there was an individual involved in that ballot question committee who I knew quite well. And when it failed, it failed, and she was aggravated over it, but it failed by a lot. It failed by a lot. And that's Kathy Eisnogel. Remember her? I mean, she drove that, and there was a ballot question committee and signs all over the town to support that thing, and it crashed and burned. So it's not. I don't know. I don't know what any of these answers are. All I know is that we're going to have to sort this stuff out soon, and we're going to have to make some tough decisions. And getting the financial plan out to GD right now and sending a copy of it over to Groton Select Board, Groton FinCom, here's the number for next year, this is it, and they're gonna have to figure it out. And what they're gonna do, I don't know, we're faced now with stripping active duty police officers away from the police department. And so GD is gonna have to, Groton Dunstable's gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do too. It's just not, there's gotta be a no override budget scenario that they've gotta get. You know, and if our board is gonna decide that when the fire department's gonna get reduced further and not gonna respond to medical calls, and the police officers are gonna get paid back to maybe there's, one officer per shift, some of the other officers are gonna bail out because they're gonna get spooked by that.
It's dangerous. It's not.
Sure, it's the same
There's too
thing with the
much
fire
going on.
department. There's one guy in the station. And some of those guys are pretty new at it.
Isn't there a requirement that there's supposed to be 2 on the truck?
It's actually, I think there's supposed to be, when you go into a burning building, there's supposed to be 2 in and 2 out, which is why that church in Spencer burnt, because the chief
Let it burn.
would not make he would not make an interior attack. He didn't have enough
Tactically, you
firefighters.
just let it burn. You don't.
Let it burn.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's out. You just.
That
stand on
happened
the sidelines,
a
keep
month
the
and a
other
half
folks
ago.
catching fire.
So we have one guy that can respond to
Yeah.
the truck. So
With the
he
truck.
can show up and not do anything
He can show up and not go into the building. That's right.
And then wait.
because he can't run the hose by
He's got to
himself.
wait.
Can't-
No, he's got to wait for others.
Gotta wait.
You can't send a guy in the building by himself.
So that's what we've created, this situation now.
Yeah.
By the failure of that. override.
You've
But-
relegated your
but-
fire.
But you guys, the school district only has $50 million budget. What do you expect them to do?
Wait, are you being facetious, Joe?
No, not at all. Harold?
Did you ask the school district to say that?
The town manager of Groton has a committee that's been meeting, I believe, every other week. Talking with the schools, it's the town manager or the administrator, whatever they call it,
Yeah.
town manager. His finance team, and I'm not sure who that, I think it's probably the accountant, the treasurer. There's representation from the selectmen, there's representation from the finance committee. And then they're talking with the schools. Groton's in a unique position where they have to have a balanced budget by December 31st.
Right.
Way ahead of us. Was Dunstable asked to participate in this?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Where's our representation? Were we
It
privy
just
to
seems
this?
like
I don't think we were we?
No.
No,
it's-
so I found out about it, I had a meeting in Groton Town Hall 3 weeks ago, maybe, about PFAS, about the PFAS issue with
This
the town.
is nothing to do with PFAS.
I know,
This is
no,
the
no.
whole budget.
Yep, so I had a meeting there about PFAS with the town manager of Groton and the town administrator and Pepperell, 3 of us. And in that meeting, I brought up to town manager, or he may have brought it up, about the school budget and that we're gonna try to start earlier. And he expressed, actually, he was happy to hear that. And he then told me that he has a group that's met, I think he said at the time, had met once and they had another meeting scheduled with the composition that you just said, and they were talking about school budget. So I did say to him, well, we're thinking about doing something very similar. We can do it separately or we can do it together if that makes sense.
It just seems
So-
like the position Groton is taking, to me anyway, is that, we'll worry about Groton and, Dunstable's gonna be left off to the side here and,
Okay.
we're in this together.
I didn't get that sense from him, honestly. I didn't.
And none of this
At that-
certainly
at-
says that.
At this point, I didn't get the sense that they didn't want to include us.
But it seems like it would be good courtesy because it is a regional district and the 2 budgets are what make the school function. So, we should be part of this.
I mean, he did say that at the meeting they had, that it did come up in terms of when should we get
Okay.
Dunstable involved. And I mean, I think they are, aware of the fact that their budget cycle is much earlier than ours. So when he heard that, hey, we're trying to
Yeah.
better align the budget process, that may have some impact with our ability to participate in it. I have another meeting with them Monday, so
So,
next
yeah,
Monday,
we
so I
should
can bring it up again.
get that rolling,
It's about
yeah.
the PFAS issue again, but I can bring this up with them again.
Yeah. No, that would be great. All right.
All right.
All right, well, after that cheery conversation, I will just quickly go through this other stuff. We signed we have a signed contract with Signature Roofing. The board has approved. We have everything we need from him, and he is reaching out to the fire chief to schedule the project and logistics. It should be pretty quick. I think he said 2-3 days, so they should be in and out pretty quick, but that would be good to get done. We had Corbett Irrigation out here Friday. They needed to fix our irrigation system, so I don't believe they're entirely done. I'm going back and forth with them now, but the project cost is far more than I anticipated, so it's an unanticipated cost of $5,000 that we're gonna have to figure out how to fund.
Can I ask, there's a couple of things, right? Why do we need to spend $5,000 to fix it? What's the root cause of that?
Prevailing wage labor,
Yeah, but
that's the cost.
well, I don't know, does prevailing wage, does chapter 149 get into irrigation, land?
It's a public works project when they're making repairs. When they're turning it on or servicing it, it's not.
Repair is the key word.
But some of the trades are not classified, like window cleaning in public works.
No, that's maintenance work.
Window cleaning is not
No,
classified.
that's maintenance work.
So what's wrong with the system that's
I'll
gonna get
send you the
fixed?
scope of work. I'm not an irrigation system specialist, but I'll send you the scope that was performed.
Does by any chance it have to do with it not having been winterized?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have a quick question, though.
Yeah.
Do we really need irrigation at the town?
Yeah, that was my next question.
According to parks, we do. I mean,
Probably not this year, but,
Yeah.
definitely not this
unusual
year. Definitely not this year. I mean, do we absolutely need it? Probably not.
It just seems
So
like a
the,
big
so the
expense.
front lawn is all brown and crappy and.
Well, yeah.
It's nature.
Is Corbett gonna fix this thing?
Ship has sailed. Oh, yeah, no, we've done it.
So Corbett's gonna fix it, and you're gonna figure out where you're gonna come up with $5,000.
Yeah.
That's the story.
And if they fix it, can they set it so that it's not going on like right now after we've been saturated with rain?
Oh, yeah.
They all have like rain sensor monitors, and they should.
I've seen irrigation systems just driving here this morning that are
On,
on.
I've seen them on when it's raining outside.
Yeah, it depends on the
That
system that's
drives me
your house.
insane, yeah.
I mean, they're getting ready to loam and seed as part of the 113 project. So it was now or never, really. So
Okay,
that's that. HVAC system fire station is down. It's failed. It needs to be replaced. So we are currently scoping it and pricing it. In order to do that, we've been told that the building needs some electrical upgrades as well. So we're currently scoping and pricing that as well. Those things are also unanticipated costs that are going to be, need to be funded in some manner. So right now they have two, standalone AC units in there. One for my house that is ACing the office space. Town hall HVAC is finally moving forward. They were here today. They expect the work to start next week, which is nice.
good.
IT management services, that's currently out for bid. We have Umbrel on board now, but their contract had expired. Same for the Union School, that's out to bid. We've issued an RFP, sent it to architectural firms. And we're hoping, proposals are due on the 26th. We have a site visit scheduled for the 17th. I think, as you know, NEMCOG is also consulting on that project as part of the public engagement scope of the project. That pesky utility pole has been removed at Pond and Pleasant finally. We've already talked about the staffing impacts of the override failing. The new fire rescue truck is here,
Yeah.
so we're excited about that. They're now working on a plan to outfit the truck with the remaining balance of the approved appropriation.
Do we have anybody to drive it?
Yeah,
No.
they'll be able to drive that.
Can we
It's an
sell it?
automatic transmission.
Okay, that's good.
Shit, I mean, can we sell it?
We just
I mean,
bought
maybe we make 50K on it. I don't know.
Like the trail.
Yeah, just put it out the bridge.
After they drive off the lot, they're not worth as much.
I know that's a reasonable theory, but like we have no one to drive it. That's the point.
CIP planning has started. I talked about that already. My 6 months, I think I think I included you in this. I've reached out to folks on the staff's employee side and volunteer side to try to sit down with. So I have a few of them scheduled, more to come, hopefully. So people can give me the business on my first 6 months.
You have a survey out as
I
well.
talked about,
I think
Town
you
survey.
do, right?
what's that?
You have a survey out too, right? Like an anonymous survey?
On me?
Yeah.
I don't, but I could. Do you want one?
Every part of me thinks that's always a good idea,
Yeah.
just because then it gives you really an honest
That
assessment.
might be the easiest way.
Yeah,
to
we did it for
get
everybody
back to-
else too,
Yeah.
so.
If you've got
You were
thick
just
enough,
the same one that I.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
if you got thick enough skin for it, you know, go for it. But I mean,
Yeah.
I sometimes rather just have people write open-ended
Yeah.
and just throw haymakers if they got them.
Do you want? How should we do it though?
About
I mean,
360.
coming from me may not be. People may be nervous about that. About giving if.
Share, send it
I think
out?
so. I
Yeah.
think so.
Just like if Ron gets the list or
So
email
I'll
addresses,
create it. I'll send you the link.
So it'll be the same 360 like thing that we
Yeah,
did.
I'll
for the
send
other
you the
employees.
link. I'll put it under your email so that you get the responses. So that people.
Who are you gonna send this out? Is this just gonna be,
We wouldn't
people
identify.
that have worked with you? Or is this going out to everybody in town who doesn't have a clue?
Oh,
No,
no,
it'd
It'd
be
be
an
people who
anonymous
work-
group of,
People
Town
who
hall
work-
staff,
Huh?
town hall staff.
and
Ron, I'll
volunteers
let
on
you-
boards.
or the board or whoever can figure out who it
Yeah.
goes to.
Okay.
Don't want to overthink it, but I think sometimes just like anonymous feedback
Yeah.
is very freeing for
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
respondent.
Absolutely. Yep. All right.
Instagram, Facebook are out
Yeah,
and
that's
running.
good. You know, we had the HPP public meeting. Office hours are coming up for Rep Scarsdale and Senator Kennedy. You know that the part-time assistant position in the town clerk's office is vacant now. Lynn
Yeah.
resigned, which we were sad to see. And we had the MVP internal kickoff meeting with our consultants yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
So more to come on that, but that's enough. That's it.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Okay. New business, old business?
No, we think we covered a lot of that already.
My one new business thing is I chatted with a colleague over in Pepperell, and they too were feeling some budget constraints, and there might be some opportunities in their opinion to perhaps intermingle or co-align some offices with the goal of cost savings and efficiencies, and really find the best person or persons to fit roles together. And I shared that information with Jason. He may catch up with the Pepperell town administrator, sort of in its infancy stage, to sort of look through some ideas.
That could be really good.
I mean, we
Yeah.
seem to be having a pretty positive relationship with Pepperell so far, so let's keep it going and see if there's any opportunity to save money for each town. And get the best possible person in a seat to help do those roles.
I think that will just vote down their school budget, is that?
Sure did.
Did they?
Sure did.
So it'll be,
I think they voted
might
down
be
all that.
interesting, they voted down their public safety building.
Yep.
And they voted down the school budget, so it'll be interesting to see things go with Pepperell with, just for our future information.
Learning experiences.
That's-
one more example that you can throw into your bucket.
That's all I have for new business.
I don't have anything.
Mr. Jason, anything else you'd like to bring up?
For plenty for me, so.
Okay,
Got one question from the audience.
Carol,
All this year today, I didn't hear anything about the treasurer's office. Are we still working on that?
yes,
Still trying.
it's not yet codified enough to make it public as to what the path forward's going to be. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.